she can glare the pitchers down like nobody else.
Yeah, and you walk back, eyes on the pitcher, and you're
Oh
like,
my
that's not going to be the
gosh.
same next time. Especially when you're a little mad. Yeah.
Allie, I saw her do that against Hartford the other day. I was afraid
Yeah.
when she was glaring that pitcher
Some
down.
people can really give you a glare.
Oh, she's got a good one.
I'm glad I'm not a pitcher because I'd be like, okay, I'm sorry.
I will not strike you out again next time. My bad.
Pitchers are so mentally tough. I give them all the credit. I mean, I don't care if you're good, not so good. Everyone, to have to go out there and like pitch every single pitch. Ugh.
And
nice
hit
play.
the short, nice play at short by Felicity Smart for the out. Yeah. That took a single away from South and certainly one run. We've played 3. Your score remains CMH 5 and South 0. You're watching W7. One up, one down in the fourth. Berea serve on the hit. That was a nice hit, but right to left field.
Yeah, probably on the warning track if there was a warning track.
Yeah, she hit it solid, but left fielder Haley Sharber made the play. Hit back to the circle, throw to first. 2 up, 2 down. Boy, we are just zipping along, Allie.
Yeah. Sometimes they drag on and on. Sometimes they go like
I'll tell you what, that North CMH game we did here, I didn't think that game was ever going to end. I mean, that was painful.
Yeah.
And I felt bad for Abby because she's on the the bench. And I can see she's hurt, and I'm just like, let's get this game over and just be done with it.
I always, whether it was in basketball or softball, I always hated playing those types of games because it's just so hard to get. We want to make sure you get good reps, but to remain respectful at the same time.
Of course. And that one's even doubly so just because there was such a buzz about the game. It was going to be a really big game. And, when that happened, and this one popped straight up by shortstop, and nice play at short. Battling the sun. Macy Camara for the out. 1, 2, 3 in the fourth. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Still 5-0 CMH. You're watching W7. So, Allie, how it works is by the time I get all my cameras finally reset up and going, the game will be over. And it'll be time to tear everything down again.
That's how it always goes with technology.
I tell you.
When you need it to work, it doesn't always work.
Absolutely. Could not be more right. Five nothing in the bottom of the fourth. Leading off for Waukesha South is number 8. That's Kenna Struncy, center fielder, sophomore.
Wind started to pick up a little
Yep.
bit. Ooh, off the shin. Ouch.
Abby Smith pitched a shutout in game 1 and working on a back-to-back shutout here in game 2. 10-0 CMH in the first one, and now 5-0 here in the fourth in the second one. Here comes the pitch from Smith to Struncy. Up the middle, that's a base hit. A nice piece of hitting by Kenna.
Nice 2-strike hitting. Just get the ball in play, hit it hard. Good things will happen.
And a lot of players don't. I mean, the mentality with 2 strikes is different, isn't it, Allie? Than it is, in a 2-1. I mean, talk about what's the mentality with 2 strikes.
So my hitting approach was normally wait for your pitch. So I normally did not swing on the first pitch unless it was like a meatball right down the middle. But
oh, meatballs sound good. Sorry,
yeah.
I didn't have lunch.
It's fair.
Popped up.
Oh!
Great catch, Cassie Smith. With the diving catch in front of the plate for the out. That was nice.
That's like no big deal for her. She's
that's
laughing.
A big deal. That's a great catch
Classic
by Cassie.
I never played with Cassie, but she always cracks me up. She's hilarious. And she's a heck of a player too, and she's only a freshman.
That was really nice. That'll be on our highlight. That's our play of the day right there.
Absolutely.
Allie. Unless something else happens, but that was pretty special.
Yeah. Pop-up bunts or like check swings or
I love those.
Swinging bunts and people diving for them. Incredible.
Emma Lossier made a really nice one for North. You know Emma.
Yeah.
A couple weeks ago when they played Muskego, we were there for that one.
Yeah. And catchers seem to do it more often. I'm like, well, you have all the gear on. Why not? And they just...
Emma gets the joy of catching Maddie Anderson every day.
Yeah, I give credit to her. That's gotta hurt.
Right? God bless her, right? I asked her, did she wear like a sponge or some sort of, something soft in her glove because her hand's got to be black by the end of the day. I mean, Maddie brings it.
Yeah. Same thing with Alyssa Dane has caught Jackie for years, and she's just so used to her. So anytime Jackie pitches, Alyssa's behind there because she knows Jackie really well.
Popped up again and caught by Smith for the out. And so we did a lot with Franklin, so I know Alyssa really well. And, of course, she's just Danes. Nobody knows her as Alyssa.
She's so
maybe
quiet.
Her mom, that was it.
Yep. Yeah, she's quiet.
She's so sweet, too.
Yeah, stoic.
Yeah.
And just goes about her business.
Yep.
And she can pop one, too. She's got a lot of power.
Well, the last time we were there, we did a triangular at Franklin, and she jacked one over the center field fence. I mean, that was all muscle on that one.
Yeah, she has some power, and I think she's had an injured ankle the past, couple months, and it doesn't slow her down. She still hits really well, and I'm like, how do you do that?
Franklin's one of those teams. I'm not sure what they are yet. I mean, they've got so much talent, but sometimes they don't perform to their ability. And we saw them play Oak Creek last week, and they should be hitting better than what they are. They've got great pitching. Bree Roberts and E. Cook are both fantastic on the circle. But they've struggled at the plate at times, and that's really hurt them. So we're interested to see what happens to them in the postseason.
Yeah, they always put together solid teams.
They do. Coach Reck is fantastic.
Yeah, we played them.
Amazing.
We played them last year, and we won 3-0. And quite honest, I was surprised.
That's a big deal when you beat Franklin. Because, I mean, they're such a solid team.
Yeah, and I hit horribly, but I was impressed that Abby pitched, and I think they split the game, her and Lauren, and they pitched well, and I was surprised that they didn't hit it powerfully. I would say they hit it, but it was all to us.
They certainly make contact and put the ball in play, but I think that there's so much more there, and I'm sure Coach Reck would say I'm preaching to the choir. She probably knows that better than anybody, and I'm actually good friends with Coach Reck, and she's another one of those, just like Coach Johnson, but just huge supporters of what we're doing.
Absolutely.
Hey, we're going to take a break. Your score remains CMH 5, South nothing after 4. You're watching CMH Softball on W7. W7 Live, top of the fifth. First batter, first pitch as Cassie Smith to second and throw to first for the out. One out. What's your thoughts, Allie, on first pitch hitting? I mean, it's I guess you can see it both ways, but what was your approach on that?
I always like to see one, at least for the first at bat of the game. I was always more of a patient hitter. My dad always told me in the can, which is, like the little spot where I liked it the most.
Yeah, you need to clarify what that meant.
Yeah, he uses a bunch of random terms that only I know, so he yells them out, and I'm like, yes, Dad. And all these people are like, what are you talking about? You're insane. Like, one year I had a chip on my shoulder for several reasons, and he would call me Chippy, and all these people were like, why are you calling your kid Chippy?
Your dad sounds like perfect kind of.
Yeah.
He and I will get along just great.
Yeah, it's so he always says in the can, and so I hunt my pitch until it's 2 strikes, and then I widen the zone and are not as picky, but so I don't really normally hit outside willingly. I like them on the inner half of the plate, lower as well. Not a huge fan of the high ball.
Like the low ones.
High zone, yeah. I can never get on top of high rise
I think
balls.
a lot of people have a hard time with those high fastballs, but they love chasing them anyway.
Yep.
Hit on the ground at first and bobbled, but then I don't know if that's going to be an out or not.
Oh, he called her out.
Called her out.
Interesting.
Boy, she had a heck of a time over there at first. That's number 12, Liz Stallman. But there are 2 outs now, runners on second and third. And I think Coach Johnson wants a second opinion, and I think that's a fair thing to ask.
Yeah.
She seemed to really struggle with that ball.
Yeah, when he wants, he'll go be like, hey, can you ask? No hurting it.
Right. No, absolutely not. And you got to advocate for your team. I mean, I'm 100% in favor of that.
Yeah.
Always advocate for your kids.
There's been a couple controversies that I've been a part of. We played a game under protest. That was an interesting time.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, the regional final that we beat Whitnall in, it spanned 2 days because of rain. And Coach Johnson thought they did a illegal switch regarding their DP and flex because they brought a new pitcher, and it was a whole thing. And so he thought they violated their rules. So we played the rest of the game under protest, and if we lost and they agreed with us, we would have went back to the time that he brought up the protest. We ended up winning, so it didn't matter.
Didn't matter, huh?
Yeah, the Whitnall people were none too happy with this.
So they're going to reverse it and call her safe. I think that's the right call, and I think the umpires did a good job of coming together and talking it out and figuring out what the right call is. And, I love it when they do that. I mean, I've got no problem with them going back and reversing what they decided. That just shows good judgment, and I think that's good. So now you got bases loaded with 1 out. And here is Becca Grotz.
The senior.
Off-speed pitch, missed 1-0 on Grotz.
Yeah, there's no hurt in consulting another set of eyes, especially when there's a different angle involved. And umpires always try to get it right. They're not perfect, but they do their best.
And that's a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike on Grotz. 1 out in the 5th, 5-0 CMH. And hit hard down the line at third. Fair ball, 1 run in, 2 runs in. Smith scores, and Thumler scores. And moving to third is Abby Aaron on a double from Becca Grotz. Boy, that was well hit, right down the line.
Looked like she pulled it right down the line, which is what you're supposed to do, and she hit it really hard on the barrel and just went down the line. Really nice piece of hitting.
7-0 now CMH, and here is 23 Felicity Smart. She's kind of a humble kid, Felicity, as I was in the dugout. It's, hey, really nice catch at short that lasted, and she's like, oh, thanks. Like, it was like no big deal. That was a really good catch.
A lot of the freshmen they come in, they're like so shy, and I'm like, yo, you can show some character, be a little energized.
Yeah.
And then Coach Johnson is out here hooting and hollering and doing all sorts of things. And
doing the stuff that he does, right?
Yeah, then the seniors are not screaming, because I was never the screaming type, but you're out here, jazzing each other up, and then they eventually break out of their shell. I would always call Abby Apple, because her last name is Smith, so...
Oh, like Granny Smith, right?
Yeah, so Coach Johnson coined her Granny, and so I was like, oh, Apple. So I'd be, here you go, Apple, and just to make her smile a bit.
We have played 4.5 at Infinity Fields in Waukesha. Our special guest, Allie Kromanek from CMH, joining us today. Your score remains CMH. Actually, your score now is CMH 7, Waukesha South 0. You're watching Crusader Softball on W7. We'll be back. Bottom of the fifth, 7-0 in favor of CMH in game 2. They won game 1, 10-0. Senior night at CMH. Celebrating the 2 seniors on this team, Becca Grotz and, who am I missing?
McKenna Christensen.
McKenna Christensen,
Yeah.
there it is.
It's cool that they're really good friends, too. So.
Yeah, well, and I love what Coach Johnson said between games. He said they're complete opposite personalities,
Absolutely,
which that is
yeah.
definitely true.
Yeah.
This is number 3, Dana Smith, the catcher. First pitch strike, 0-1. Smith to Smith here.
Classic Smith battery.
Classic Smith battle. Here we go. Yeah, you get a Smith battery and Smith at the plate.
Yep.
Smiths are wild.
Must be a common name.
Must be. There must be some. There must be more than one of them out there.
Yeah. Don't get many Cormanics in this world.
Yeah, not a lot of Cormanics,
No.
right? And that one's low. 2 balls and 1 strike on Dana Smith. There's Abby Smith on the circle. Swing and a miss. We had Abby as our player of the game. In fact, we did the CMH season opener against Wauwatosa East. You probably watched that game, Allie. And
a little bit of it, I think.
I got to tell you, I was blown away at how good the Crusaders, how well the Crusaders played. And I mean, they beat Tosa East 10-0. They jumped on them right away in the first, second inning, and never looked back. It was a great game. And to your point, Coach Johnson the whole time was sandbagging the whole thing. Like, yeah, we lost a lot of kids. We lost, our best shortstop. And he's talking about you, of course.
Yep.
He's like, so I don't know if we're going to be any good or not. There's a throw down to first, and in time, nice play at first by Christensen.
Nice way to handle that. Abby can throw him a little bit too hard, but she handled that well.
Yeah, nice job by
Got the
McKenna
out.
digging that out for the out. 1 out in the 5th, 7-0. No softball tomorrow. I'm going to be in Oshkosh tomorrow, and I offered Oshkosh West that we'd stop by and do their game, and I got a thanks but no thanks.
Oh, wow.
Don't get too many of those, but respect that. So I was hoping to do Oshkosh North versus West and see Sydney pitch, but
those some good teams right there.
Yeah, but I think they have stuff going on already, so just one of those things that just didn't work out. So no softball tomorrow. Wednesday, we're back on again at Kettle Moraine. Muskego KM on Wednesday. That's a good Classic 8 battle there,
that
Allie.
is. KM
Boy, is KM good this year.
Yeah, that's top of the
Holy
league.
smokes. And nice play, Smith to Christensen for the second out. Surprised. I mean, I don't know how KM was last year, but they are really good.
I'm not overly surprised. Their pitchers are a year older because they had a freshman pitcher. I think if I remember correctly, in the rotation last year, and she pitched pretty well for a freshman, and she's a year older, but they always were a really good hitting team. And even after they graduated, I think it was 2017, they had like 8 seniors or something like that just dominated the lineup, and they were really good too. And they graduated on them, so last year was kind of interesting because they could hit pretty well still. And this year they can still hit really well, and they have some heavy hitters on that team.
They do. So we'll be at KM on Wednesday, 4:30, first pitch, KM and Muskego. And then Thursday, We're back to Slinger. Senior night at Slinger. I think it's senior night at KM also Wednesday. Senior night at Slinger on Thursday for Homestead Slinger Thursday. And then we wrap it up Friday with Germantown and Menominee Falls.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one, too.
So we got Classic 8 this week, we got North Shore this week, and we got GMC this week.
Yeah.
Perfect way to end the season.
And all conferences are extremely competitive.
They really are.
Up and down.
Yep. This softball is really taking off, I think.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate because some schools like CMH are having to eliminate a team because their numbers are down because kids deciding to play soccer. Nothing against soccer, but it's just what it is. But softball, it's more attention is being brought to it, especially on the national level with the NCAA, and it's incredible. I love watching NCAA softball, and the WCWS is starting up. And
I saw a post on Twitter this morning about the number of games that have been televised softball games this year has gone through the roof.
Yeah,
compared
absolutely.
To previous years. So it's certainly a growing in popularity sport as it should be. I think it's a fantastic game, and I love baseball. But I got to tell you, there's just something about softball. I really like it a lot.
Yeah, it's one of those games like baseball where it's 70% mental. If you're not mentally in, you're not going to do well, especially with hitting. Hitting is such a mental thing. And you really have to be mentally tough to do well in this game. And it teaches you a lot of lessons, which I think is really important, especially as you're like in this age when you're trying to figure everything out. So it's really fun to watch, too, especially at a really high level. People like Oklahoma. I love watching Oklahoma.
Yes.
Sydney Romero, National Player of the Year candidate. The Romeros are fantastic. I'm like, how did these pair of sisters get so good at what they do? But it's incredible what these girls, or women I should say, can do and how well they play on national stage. And like all these men are like, dang, that's hard. I'm like, yeah. It's comparable to a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. That's right.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as you think it is.
Well, the Slinger kids, the girls were pitching softballs to the guys' baseball team.
We did that too.
Blowing it past them. I mean,
it was so
Maya
funny.
Morris was and Kiana Retzloff was bringing the heat.
Lauren did that against some football players or in baseball players. There was a kid on our baseball and football team, CJ Getz, not to pick on him, but great athlete, signed to Wisconsin. He's on scholarship there. He's a defensive end. Lauren blew it by him through pitches. It was so funny. I was like, okay, and he was like, all right, you're cool. Like, you have it. And
you got game, right?
Yeah, and it was pretty funny. And they were just like swinging for the fences, completely missing. I was like,
right?
I was like, oh, I can feel the breeze over here.
Maria Serb leading off for CMH in the sixth. It's 7-0 CMH, top of the sixth. It'll be Serb, Christensen, and Grace White for the Crusaders in the sixth.
My question is, how is it only 5:52?
I know. We're going to be done way early.
I never go this. Oh, she picked a high one.
And hit over third, and that'll be a single for Serb.
Yeah, that's a tough thing to handle in the hot corners.
Yeah, that's tough.
High line drives because you have such a short time to react and to jump.
So softball tonight, softball Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday night, the regular season opener for the Wisconsin Glow hosting the St. Louis Surge. 7 o'clock is tip-off at Menominee Nation Arena in Oshkosh, and W7 will be there. And this one pounded into center and caught. Nice catch in center field by South. That is Kenneth Strunzi on the catch for the out.
Yeah, that's all you can do. Put it in play, hard contact. I've had way too many of those. You hit it hard and you're like,
she hit it solid. That was well hit.
It was right at somebody. Nothing you can do.
And now batting is number 2. This is that right? Is that Cassie Smith?
Yeah, it is.
Cassie Smith.
Oh, they get turned
Step on second for the out. Force out at second. That's 2 outs now in the sixth. 7-0. And now up number 1, Riley Thumler, second base. Is she? I don't know what grade she's in. She's a junior.
Rebecca Stimmick. Yeah.
You're right. It is Rebecca Stimmick. Rebecca Stimmick.
Speedster.
See, this is why we got you here, Hell. You got to keep me organized here. Popped up and caught for the out.
She got ahead of that one. She's none too heavy with herself.
She does not look overly thrilled with that.
Looking at Coach Johnson being like, yeah, I screwed up.
Liz Solomon on the catch. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and there was 1 batter left. We've played 5.5, head to the bottom of the 6th. Your score remains CMH 7 and South 0. You're watching Black Shirt Softball on W7. Little shout out to our own Snoop Dogg here joining us tonight. Allie Korbanek, CMH grad. That's Coach Johnson's nickname for her. Nobody knows why. That's just what he called her. So little Snoop Dogg here for her. Allie, it's great having you here. Thanks so much for taking the time and hanging out with us today. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Love to have you anytime. It's 7-0, bottom of the 6th. Well, you know it's getting late. The kids are starting to cry now and getting hungry. I'll probably be crying here pretty soon myself. So hit on the ground at second. Nice backhand. Throw over to first, not in time. Nice play by Riley at second. So, Allie, this has been a very talked about topic on W7, but the whole jackets and wearing the coats and, it covers up your jersey number so you don't really know who it is. And sometimes they wear different color jackets and coats. With baseball, it's got to be, you got to wear the uniform and you can't wear all the stuff on top of it.
Yeah.
I mean, did you wear a jacket often or did you just go with the jersey and that's just, it is what it is?
I layered up. I think one time I had on when it was cold, I'd do 2 Under Armours, 2 long sleeve shirts, my jersey.
Nice.
And then in between innings, we would either have some sort of windbreaker or coat that I would put on. Sometimes I'd put on a sweatshirt in the field if it was really that bad, but I always went up to bat with my jersey out because I just thought it would be. I liked more movement in my arms.
Sure.
And a lot of the time, especially at third base, you're just standing there, and you can get a ton of action on some days, and some days you can get nothing. So if it was windy, too, I would normally put on a jacket in the field with some hand warmers, too. Those were, my best friend. I think my mom.
The hot hands thing?
Yeah, my mom purchased, them on bulk on Amazon for $20, and we still have some left from, 2 years ago. Because we would all use them for other sporting events, for softball. I just put them in my back pocket. And but then you can lighten up the long-sleeve shirts on days like these. But Coach Johnson provides you actually buy them, but they're Nike thermal Under Armour-like long-sleeve shirts. So those help with the wind a little bit, but I always hated playing in 40-degree weather. It was awful.
So you didn't wear, jackets over the top of your jersey and stuff and coats. And so we always pick on Annalise Glaui from Waukesha East who wore this long black dress coat up the bat. Hit high in the air to left field and off the fence. I couldn't tell if it was out or not.
Yeah, neither could I.
Coming around third to score. A super long double. I thought maybe that was out.
Yeah.
In left field out there is Maria Serb. Maria didn't let on one way or the other what was going on. So that was Kenneth Strunzi on the hit. And a little discussion here at the circle for the umpires. We'll see what's what.
Yeah.
Well, for the first time today, South is on the board. 7-1 now. First run given up by Smith. She'll probably go home and beat herself up over that for the next 2 days.
She'll be a little mad. What always happens with Abby is she will either give up a hit or a walk or whatever it is, and she'll just dig in and rattle off 3 strikeouts or something like that. And that's just her character and how she plays the game and the grit and the passion she has.
And you have to have, especially at pitcher, you have to have it's a certain mentality that goes along with the talent.
One of my club teammates, her dad, when she was younger, would do all these shenanigans to improve her mental confidence, and so she wouldn't get rattled. He'd do when she would walk somebody, he'd start singing "Walk Like an Egyptian" and just get in her head, and she had to learn to not get rattled. And she was like, yeah, it kind of sucked. It was kind of annoying when your dad would be, kind of digging in you a little bit, but she's like,
if you could live through that, then certainly anything that happens on the field
exactly.
you can deal with. Cameron Braun on the singles, RBI single for Braun, and it's now 7-2. Go ahead, Allie.
But she does not get fazed by anything, and a lot of pitchers, they don't show emotion in their face, they're stone face, no emotion whatsoever. You couldn't tell if they were having an up game or a down game, bad, good. You couldn't tell what just happened based on their facial expressions.
Well, and I would say that's true for most of the pitchers that I've seen. Maddie Anderson being the one exception. That is, she just has constant rage.
Yeah,
it's almost like the batter came up and stole her lunch money or something,
Yeah.
and she's going to pay him back for it.
And
I mean,
it's all your
it's so
personal
personal.
choice. Yeah. And
she takes it very personally, which I think that helps fuel that fire that she has. And that's what she does to get up for games. I mean, it's a personal thing when the batters come up to the plate. I mean, it's almost like, hey, this is my domain. How dare you even come up to bat?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Abby has a little bit of that, but it's a lot more controlled.
Yeah.
And like deep inside.
Yeah. It's not like Mad Dog.
Yeah.
I mean, she's called Mad Dog for a reason.
Absolutely. It's kind of, when hitting, my dad and coaches always said controlled aggressiveness.
Yeah.
You get like, when I was younger, my dad's like, hey, swing harder, hit the ball harder. And I'd be like, how? And he's like, get mad at something. Just be aggressive. It doesn't have to be anything. Just be mad.
And that's exactly right. And, we joke with Maddie, but I mean, she's really done a great job of finding what she needs to do to get in that zone. And that's what good players do. They find whatever that tool is, whatever that motivation is, then they hone in on it and focus on it, and that's what drives them.
Yeah. And some do it
nice
with
pitch
more.
by Smith.
Yeah,
that's a really nice off speed.
That was probably her drop curve. That's just
really
absolutely
nice.
knee-buckling. Because you could tell by the batter's reaction and how she swung that it probably looked like it was at her knees. Then she realized,
and then
that's
the
not
bottom
it.
fell out of it.
Yeah. And those are really hard to hit, especially on a 2-strike count.
Well, 2 outs now. Runner still at first. First pitch strike. This is Kaylin Kramer, skidding base. Is she a senior or
a freshman? Looks like, yeah.
Yeah, so freshman Kramer. She'll be around a while.
Yeah.
And swing and a miss, strike 2. Getting a lesson from the sophomore today.
When you first come into this league as a freshman, I was a little scared.
It's a little intimidating, isn't it? It has to be.
Yeah, I mean, we had, I'm trying to think of who the pitchers were, but there was a lot of actually pitchers in my grade. So Mimi Bradley from Arrowhead.
Yeah, Mimi was pretty good.
Yeah, and I had faced her in club before, and I was like, oh, I have to face Mimi again because I never hit well against her because she's a really good pitcher.
Yes, she is.
And she went on to D2, I think, University of Missouri St. Louis. And then there was Sarah Moeller at Muskego, who was always pretty good. She would spin the ball really well. And then Jackie came along my sophomore year, and I had known Jackie because I played with her. So I was like, if you hit me, I'm charging the mound at you. She never did, but so I knew the pitchers pretty well throughout the conference. In Waukesha North, when I was a freshman, I don't quite remember her name. I think her name was Taylor, but she was a really solid pitcher, kind of like a Maddie Anderson. And I think they made a run at the conference crown that year. But the Classic 8 has always had really solid pitching. And
well, it'll be curious to see what happens with the teams in the conference this year in the postseason, because I think it's a balanced conference. I mean, KM is good. Arrowhead's always Arrowhead. I mean, you never know what's going to happen with them. You guys are good. North is good. I mean, North, was 2 games away from winning state last year, and they'll be good. So I mean, as long as you got 18 on the circle at North, you'll be all right. I mean, they'll do fine.
Yeah, it's all about.
Oconomowoc is actually playing well this year.
No, this first year last year I played with them because they moved into our conference with the whole realignment thing.
Yep.
And I was impressed. I was like, they have some pretty solid players out here.
Yeah. And I live in Oconomowoc, so know the area pretty well. And they've got a good team. They're 9-4 in the conference.
I think they're second place.
Second place to KM. Everybody's going to finish behind KM this year. Though KM will take care of business.
Yeah.
First, popped up Smith out at second. Well, I think I keep saying North. I think South has played so much better in this game than in the first game, defensively for sure. I think they've hung in there. It's still 7-2 in the top of the 7th.
Yeah.
I always root for South. I think there's talent there for sure. This one's
crushed
hit hard in the center. Abby Aaron.
That's on the base of the fence.
And that's out of here. A home run for Abby Aaron.
That was her 4th. Oh wow, that's my bat. Yeah, I know it is.
Her 4th of the season. The Cormanic bat strikes again.
I did not even think that was out. Wow, that was a laser.
Aaron hits it out.
I know it is.
And she comes over and, nice way to give props. That's a good kid. Abby Aaron comes over and gives Allie props on her bat.
I saved all the home runs for her. I was always a contact hitter. I rarely hit
I didn't
home
think that
runs.
was going over, Allie.
Yeah, I thought it was going to hit like the fence.
I thought it was actually going to hit the bottom of the fence, but I mean, it cleared it, so it's 9-2 now in favor of CMH. And here's Becca Grotz.
Nice little soft
And that'll be caught at short for the out.
Yeah. She was playing pretty deep, which ended up working well.
2 outs in the 7th. And Felicity Smart is going to get a pinch hitter here. This will be Gabrielle Casey. First look at Gabrielle today. And again, just another thing I just really respect about Coach Johnson. Just when you get up like this, you start bringing kids in and giving other kids looks and giving them experience. So that just builds the cycle for next year, the following year.
Absolutely.
So this is a great opportunity for Gabrielle to come in and show what she's got. And show what she can do.
And he's never really had that before with 2 teams. It's always been only 10 players or whatever it is, because there's only 20 kids in the program. But I think they've embraced the only 1 team, because they can have a bench of 3 or 4 deep with pinch runners, pinch hitters, and they can get these younger kids some time, which provides some valuable experience for them at the varsity level. So, and they can kind of see what it's all about, because JV is great experience, but it's not quite like varsity softball, especially in the Classic 8. So it's really good for them to get in some game situations and see what the pitching's like and things like that, so they can then go back in their respective summers and work on whatever they need to work on.
First pitch fouled off. Good cut by Casey. So, Allie, I mean, ponytail, no ponytail, I mean, when you played. So I see mostly you see braided and ponytails, that type of thing.
Sure.
But Gabrielle going free here.
Yeah, I always wore a ponytail.
Yeah.
I rarely braided because it ended up giving me a headache. I don't really know why, but I always did ponytail, and then it ended up like moving down by putting my helmet on and the mask and everything like that. But I have curly hair, so it would get all over the place, and especially in the humid weather, it would go crazy. So, but I always went and then a thicker headband as well. And Coach Johnson gave us all Nike headbands with grippers on them.
Casey hits it hard to second. That's a base hit.
Yeah.
Nice job by Gabrielle Casey.
Nice piece of hitting.
2-out single for Casey.
Yeah, she's showing what she's got.
There you go. That's what you got to do when you get those opportunities. Come in and even though it would have been out, she was very aggressive at her at bat.
Yeah,
I thought she had a very good at bat.
Yeah,
and that's the main thing, is come up there and compete.
It's all about improvement for the younger kids, so they can get that experience and improve upon it. And then when as they're older, then they're ready to start and play a major role for the team.
Now, Coach Johnson called you like the statistician or something.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the story behind that?
So, my natural, I guess, inkling, for lack of a better word that I can think of, I was always interested. Like, I would always pay attention to who the batter was, who the pitcher was, who their pitches were. I knew a ton of the pitchers in the conference, so that helped. But I would always give my team scouting reports. I'd say, for Maddie Anderson, for example, I'd be like, lay off the high stuff until you absolutely have to swing at it, and that's when you have 2 strikes, and you need to foul it off, because it's going to be very hard to hit. And hunt your pitch early in the count, because that's going to be the best pitch you're going to get. So things like that I've learned.
The study of the game and the tendencies and players and that type of thing, and just looking for an edge, right, as an athlete.
Yeah, and I've learned that throughout. I think I've been playing softball for 9 years now, competitively through club. And my dad's kind of taught me, okay, you need to watch the pitcher and see what they're throwing, and talk to your teammates, and they say, oh, I got a rise ball on a whatever pitch count, and I got a drop ball on so-and-so, and don't swing at it because it's hard to hit, or something like that. And so as you get older, as people diversify the pitches they have, they come back to your teammates come back to their dugout, and they'll be like, oh, she's not that fast, or you need to go back in the box for a little bit, or whatever the case is, and you kind of make adjustments from there, and you get a feel for the adjustments that work. And then so I always relayed that to my teammates, because I either played with them at some point in time, or I faced them enough to know. And same thing with hitters. Like, some hitters, at third base, I always knew people's tendency to bunt. So when they were up in the box or when their hands moved, I knew to charge. And I just gathered that, like, sense through experience, I guess.
Sure.
And being on the left side of the infield, I gained a sixth sense, if you want to call it that, of like my reaction time, and my body would automatically react if the bat got to a certain point in the bat path. So if I like saw the front of the bat, I would subconsciously like tense up and be ready, because you know, like you pull the ball and to make it to that side of the infield, and you kind of get used to it. Like subconsciously, I didn't know I did that until I went to shortstop, and I was like, oh wait, I had to kind of like slightly retrain myself. So things like that, really small nuances, make you better. And especially like your position in the batting box, or the position of your hands, or how somebody leads off, or something like that. So
I can see why softball's the perfect sport for you, and you know, biochemical engineering is
Yeah.
the perfect field for you. It's that detail stuff.
yeah,
so, I
I'm
mean,
very analytical thinker. I'm a
I
huge
could see that for sure.
huge math and science person.
Yep, I could definitely see that.
Yeah, I was a huge fan of chemistry in high school, and huge fan of calculus as well. So I always gotten used to the I was a fan of the the science and the math and the engineering classes in high school, and it kind of translated onto the softball field and the basketball field, or basketball court, as well.
Sure.
And the little details there that can improve your game a drastic amount.
Because it really is just that edge. I mean, it's not, the margin is very, very small.
Yeah.
I don't know who it was, Ty Cobb or somebody said the difference between a 250 hitter and a 300 hitter is one hit a week.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the course of the season.
And my club coach said, if you're a 300 hitter, which is considered good, you fail 7 out of 10 times.
Absolutely.
And so you have to learn to not get down on yourself.
Yep.
All you're trying to do is hit the ball hard.
Yep.
And I think there's a coach, his name is Steve Springer, and his brand is quality at bats. And he's all about have quality at bat, work the count, get your pitch, and hit it hard. If you get out, so be it. But you want to hit the ball hard and put in a quality at bat, and then it eventually is going to lead to better results.
Well,
And
Dana Smith drew a walk there to lead off the 7th.
that was a nice, patient at bat for her.
I think, if you're south here, I mean, it's just looking for base runners and trying to get on base here and extend this game if possible.
Yeah.
We'll see if Coach has her maybe take a pitch or two and see if they can get ahead on the count here on Smith. Abby's thrown a lot of pitches today. And back-to-back games. Of course, it's not baseball with the shoulder issues that you have, but still, I mean that's a lot of physical exertion. That many times in a game.
Yeah, it's more of a natural motion, but at the same time, your elbow can get really screwed up
For
from
sure.
putting spin on the ball for rise balls or drop balls or whatever the case is. I think Lauren Maloff, who was my teammate for 4 years, always dealt with elbow problems that she just had to gut out because there was no other option. And that was just from the twisting motion. And, I mean, baseball pitchers have Tommy John issues and all things like that, but softball pitchers sometimes have shoulder and elbow issues as well.
For sure. There's a swing and a miss. Strike 2. I believe it's 0-2. Let me check here. Yep, 0-2. I'm notorious for being dead wrong on the count most times.
Yeah.
This is that whole analytical thing. This is where you would thrive, and I'd be like, I think it's 2-1 or 3-0. No, it's 0-2.
Yeah, sometimes I'd be like in the field and I just lose track, and so I'm like, well, I think this is what it is.
And that also drives coaches crazy.
Yeah,
as
don't
you know.
don't tell that to Coach Johnson. But.
Basketball coaches, especially with 5 seconds left, they
yeah.
forget how much time is left on the clock, and all of a sudden the game's over.
It's always important to remember the time, who has possession,
Absolutely,
and who has momentum as well. Also
Swing
applies to
and
softball.
Just fouled off. Still 2 strikes.
Really applies to any sport. If you have momentum, oof.
Yep. Stick around following the game for the Zone Athletics Find Your Zone players of the game. We'll have 2 of them if things finish the way that we're expecting here. 7-2 in favor, or 8-2 in favor of CMH in the 7th. Nice throw down the first.
Wasn't it 9-2 like 3 minutes ago?
It keeps changing. It's kind of a fluid score, Allie. I don't know that it's anything for sure. It's
These scoreboards can be a little wacky.
Yeah, so 1 out now. I think it is 9-2 actually. 1 out in the 7th. Runner on first. CMH up by at least 6. So
yes.
Abby shakes off Sis's call there.
Yeah.
How do they get along? I assume they get along pretty well.
Yeah, I was talking to my sister, who is the manager for this team and some of the coaches, and I was saying, even though catching is not Cassie's natural position, believe it or not, her natural position is shortstop. She catches really well because she knows Abby so well. She's been catching her since she was
they were probably
10 years old or whatever it is
in
the backyard, and so she knows her like the back of her hand. And so they can. Coach Rice.
They're a good team, aren't they?
Yeah, Coach Rice is calling the pitches, and then Cassie relays them to her. But
is Abby allowed to shake them off?
Yeah, she definitely is, because Coach Rice trusts her enough for her to.
You're right on. That's a trust issue between a coach and a player.
Yeah.
You've got to earn that. You don't just get it.
Because I've seen where that relationship breaks down, and the player does not trust the coach's calls at all.
Right.
And it screws with their head, and that's really unfortunate. Because I've seen really great pitchers not perform to their ability because they are not being called correctly, for lack of a better word. And then when, like, the next season, when there's a different coach calling their pitches, they're completely different. And so it's really, that relationship is pretty important, because they're essentially placing their performance into the coach's hand and being like, okay, you're in charge of this.
Yes.
And she does have the ability to shake it off, but she can't call an entire game by herself, because Coach Rice, has the book in the dugout and knows people's tendencies more than Abby. Abby's just trying to make the pitch.
Right.
And so that's pretty important to have that bond, not only between the coach and the pitcher, but the pitcher and the catcher.
For sure.
And Cassie frames it really well, gets behind the ball well. For not being a catcher, she plays catcher really well.
Yeah, she does a good job. Well, 2 outs now for South. Last chance.
She's just naturally athletic.
This is Allie Gardner, junior. No balls, 1 strike, 8-2 in the 7th. CMH on their way to a sweep of this doubleheader. And this one's hit hard but fouled on the line at first.
Just a little late on that one, but she got a good bat on it.
South 5-14 this year. CMH won't win the conference, but it's still a very, very good year for the Crusaders.
Yeah. We need a ton of help from KM, which they're not going to get.
KM's probably not going to give much help, I wouldn't think. And that's your ball game, strike 3. Final score, CMH 8, Waukesha South 2. We're going to take a break. You won't hear from me the rest of the day, but we're going to have Allie Kermanek do the player of the game interviews. Allie, it's been an absolute pleasure. We'd love to have you anytime. Thank you
for
so
having
much,
me.
and it's been just fantastic.
Yeah, no problem.
Stick around. We'll be right back, you guys. You're watching W7.
Hello, this is the Zone Athletics player of the game, if I'm doing this correctly. First one we have from the first game is Rebecca Gratz, senior for Catholic Memorial. Rebecca, great game today.
Thanks, Allie.
How are you feeling about graduating in a couple weeks?
I'm really excited to just, finish up high school and move on to the next chapter of life.
Sure.
I'm a little sad to leave softball and all these great teammates that I have. I'm really going to miss it, but I'm excited to.
Yeah. Where are you moving on to?
I'll be attending the University of Minnesota Twin Cities next year to study biomedical engineering.
We got a smarty over here. Are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to college and just, meeting new people, getting out of the house and just new experiences.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
As I can attest to, you miss softball a lot, but there's always people who are like, yes, let's play some intramurals or something like that. So there's always a way to keep up with the game.
Definitely bring my glove.
Yeah, absolutely. How has your experience been with CMH Fast Pitch for the past 4 years?
I've really enjoyed it. I've made a ton of friends and gotten closer to friends that I've already had. Obviously, I've learned a lot these past 4 years about myself,
Sure.
other people, and really grown my skills and love for the game. So.
Awesome. That's awesome. Love to hear that about softball so we can grow this wonderful sport, especially in southeastern Wisconsin where it's getting a lot more attention as it should be. So anything else you would like to say to the world out there?
I've just had a really great season. Came in, kind of a younger team, and I've really been surprised at how well we've been doing. It's been a ton of fun getting to know all these girls a lot better, and I'm really going to miss playing with them all next year. So.
That's awesome. Well, we thank you for being our first Zone Athletics player of the game for this doubleheader this afternoon. We wish you the best of luck in your college adventures. I hope you have a great time, study hard, and also have fun. That's the important thing. So you want to say hi to your mom or anything like that?
Hi, Mom. She's not going to watch this, but that's okay.
Well, anybody out there, there's your mom. But anything else?
No, I'm just excited for the rest of the season and see where we go for regionals and the state playoffs. So.
Gearing up for playoffs, so that's the end game.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Rebecca, for joining us on this post-game interview, if you will. Have a great rest of your season, and we wish you the best of luck. As an alum, I wish you the best of luck. Go kill it out there.
Thanks.
Welcome back to our post-game of the CMH and Waukesha South doubleheader this afternoon on a beautiful day. We have with us here our second Zone Athletics player of the game, McKenna Christensen. How are you doing, McKenna?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. You guys got some good wins there. Pulled out both of them. How are you feeling about the rest of the season?
I feel confident. I think we're going to go strong into playoffs. I think we're starting to peak, and we're focusing on hitting now, so that's good. Yeah, I think we could go really far in playoffs. I hope so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
How have the past 4 years been with CMH Fast Pitch?
It's definitely been one of the funnest 4 years I've played. It's my favorite sport right now. Just the energy that everybody brings, and I'm a big I'm a big positive, loud person, so I like getting everybody wild up and just having fun with them. And you can't really do that in any other sport because you're actually sitting on a bench. Here you're actually in the game and you're focused, and it's so exciting.
Yeah. How much do you in the dugout emphasize having energy amongst all your teammates, not just you, but the coaching staff, all of you, is that a really important part of your game?
Oh, yeah. It doesn't matter if we're up by, like, 15 or down by 1. Energy is, like, super important, and it's just we need it to, you know, continue playing as good as we can, because once you get down, like, once you can't, like, you don't have the energy, then you're just, you're not gonna succeed as much as you will if you have energy, because then the energy actually makes everybody happier and makes them play well, and you know they like each other when you have energy and stuff, and everybody's not yelling at each other. So
that's really important, especially in a dugout setting and atmosphere, and to have that high energy positivity atmosphere. What will you be doing next year for college?
I'm going to UW Platteville, Wisconsin, to study elementary education.
So you're going to be a little children teacher?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
That's so cool to hear. That's going to be great. Do you have any specific things you want to do, or just, like, any subjects or anything like that?
No, not really. Just excited. Yeah.
I think you're going to be a great elementary teacher. All the kids are going to love you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Reflecting back on your 4 years since you're graduating in 3 weeks or whatever it is, what do you think about your high school experience, especially relating to softball?
It's been super fun. I always get excited around like December when we start having open gyms and, you know, like getting back into softball, because I also play rugby and basketball. So it's fun swinging the bat and playing catch and stuff. And we just have fun while we're playing catch. It's not just, oh, you throw to me, I throw to you. It's more like, hey, let's have fun while we're playing the sport. You know, there's just so much more energy that goes into softball than what goes into like rugby or what goes into basketball. It's just a much better atmosphere.
Yeah, I completely get it, because I was in those sports, not rugby, but I can attest to the atmosphere that Coach Johnson creates. He wants it all to be fun and positive, which is fantastic to hear, and gets more people to play the sport. So, especially with all the freshmen coming in, it's really good to see that. So, I wish you the best of luck in college. Study hard, but have fun. Don't have too much fun, though. But
try not to.
Yeah. Bring your glove along, because you always find people that are willing to throw the ball around, or in a mural softball or whatever it is. So I wish you the best of luck, and I hope these next few weeks and exams go well. But good luck in the playoffs as well. I'm certainly, as an alumni, rooting for you. So, or alum, I should say. Correct grammar. But thank you for being our second Zone Athletics W7 player of the game. Looks like you have some fans out here. But, good luck in the postseason. And go Crusaders, right?
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely.